Welcome to the AACFB's 2024 Meet the Funder webinar series. My name is Monica Harper, and I'm the Executive Director of the AACFB, and I'll be your host. Our presenter today for today's presentation is Stephanie Viada from American Capital Group. American Capital Group is both a funding source member and a gold sponsor of the AACFB, and I'd like to thank them for their support of the association. Before I turn over to Stephanie, I'd like to go over a few things to make this webinar more enjoyable and informative for everyone. During the presentation, you should see a Q&A box that allows you to ask questions. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit your question in the box and they should be answered by the end of the webinar. Please observe the chat for communication between attendees. The entire webinar should take no more than 30 to 45 minutes. And for those of you who would like to review the webinar at a later date, it will be posted on the 2024 Meet the Funder page of the website, and it will be emailed out to the AACFB membership. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Stephanie. It is all yours.
Thank you, Monica. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Stephanie Viada, Director of the Broker Services team here at American Capital Group. I've been here for, 9 years now. So, and it's been a fun thing. So lots of changes over those years. So, loving everything that we're doing over here and excited to share with you guys on what we're doing. So first off, who is American Capital Group? What do we do? We are a direct lender, and we've been doing financing in the equipment space since 1995. We are backed by private capital, so we haven't seen a ton of changes for us. So if you are a current broker with us, today you'll hear pretty much similar things we've been doing the last couple of years. And if you're new and thinking about maybe joining us, we haven't changed a lot of our programming over the last couple of years due to market stuff. We haven't had to. So stable partner for you to know who we are. We do all of our broker stuff is done through house. So we 100% is funded and serviced here at American Capital Group. We are really pride ourselves in our digital process. We try to make sure that this is a seamless and the easiest possible process for our broker partners. And so we spend a lot of time and money into making sure that that process is seamless. So most of our brokers love that processing, so they get those quick responses and pretty fast moving through the deals. Because as we all know, time kills deals. So we like to get it in and out as quick as possible. So what can you kind of expect working with the ACG team? We really want to make sure that this is a good relationship between both of us, right? It's got to be beneficial on both sides, and we want to make sure that we're very clear with each other as to what the goals are that we're each trying to accomplish. So for us, we want to make sure that we give you access to our analysts. So when you submit a transaction with us, we allow you to talk to that analyst who is reviewing your transaction so that you can ask more clarification questions. You can actually also kind of negotiate with them. Oftentimes when deals come in, our analysts are just looking at what has been submitted. They don't know the whole story, right? You do, they don't. So giving you that ability to kind of give them some more information, to kind of talk about, hey, if we did this instead of that, would that help get us a stronger approval? That is open for them. So you don't have to come through me to go to them. You can just go straight to them, which then cuts down that time and also gets everyone to where we're both really good with the deal, so we can move that deal forward. We have a wide credit coverage. So we go A through D, and here in a minute, I'll kind of explain what A to D looks like for us. So there's whether you're needing a customer credit coverage or you're needing C or D, we can probably be a house for you if you have a little opening needed in your funding relationships. And then also, as I already mentioned, kind of our technology platform, our Click to Fund platform, that's our streamlined process to get the deals moving through. So what do we fund? So we are, like I said before, an equipment finance company. So we do not do, that's all we do. It's just equipment. And when people ask kind of what we like and what we do, I tell them that we are really a equipment an asset-based lender, so we really look for that. And that really puts a higher, I guess, value into what we look at. So if there's two different types of equipment, for example, like if we're looking at a yellow iron or a startup restaurant equipment with just tables and stuff, you might have the same credit profiles, but you'll see one may get a better approval terms because of the type of asset that it is. Now, the equipment that we have here is we do the construction and manufacturing, fitness, medical. These are just kind of examples as to what we do, but they aren't all encompassing. We do not do the one equipment we don't do is we don't do title equipment. So we do not do anything with trucks or trailers, just that. And I see that some people are having a hard time hearing. Let me see, is it any better? Maybe. We also do with vendors and private parties and auctions. So what gives you kind of a broader basis of people that we can work with to fund those transactions. So so if you've got a private party business that are buying equipment from another business, we can work on that. We do require a little bit more documentation on that, of course, to confirm ownership, but that is what we can do there. And again, everything is non-titled for us. We, as I mentioned earlier, we do A through D credits. Those lower credit profiles will start at a 550 credit score. That also we can, I'll have the next slide here that I'll tell a little bit more on that and give you an idea of what that means on our front, but we can start from there and then all the way up. Our program is 10,000 to 250,000. So we're the small ticket range, and our app only is up to 150. We do startups. I'll talk a little bit more on what that looks like. And then our structures, we offer leases and equipment finance agreements. So what kind of equipment do we like to fund? I usually get that question a lot. And we like to fund really those assets that, of course, are going to hold their value over time. So you're looking at your construction, your landscaping, your waste management, manufacturing. Those are where we do a lot of business in. What we don't fund, you'll see right there, we don't I get a lot of questions usually on forestry and logging. We don't do that. And as I mentioned already, we do not do titled equipment. As far as our credit profiles, you're looking at here you can see kind of the A, B, C, and D profiles. These profiles are just general on basis, so I wouldn't say that they are the box they have to fit in. It's not like they have to be in this alone. These are just like if you have 100 applications that we got in, you're looking at the majority would be kind of in this area. So your A customers at 675, they have a pay net and they're 5 years time in business. Those rates are going to start at 7%. The B range, you're looking at around a 625. They have some comparable credit, and they're at least 2 years time in business. And then that C range will start, like I said, at a 550. 5 trade lines. That's something that I see a lot sometimes coming through is that people with light credit don't have that minimum 5 trade lines. We do require that for any customer that we are looking at is they have a minimum of 5 trade lines. And then the C and D also have to be 2 years out of business right there. For our new business program, this is just kind of the basis of what we look for. So anyone under 2 years time in business will fall into our new business program. We can start with businesses who are just starting out their business. So if they've just signed up today, or if they're in the under 2 year time. The customer needs to have an A or B credit profile. So it needs to be in that range. So you're looking at that like if you look at our previous with our A and B, they're looking at around a 700, 675 credit score. We require 3 months bank statements, personal and or business with that. And then what you're looking at for the amount that they can qualify for is in the 50,000 range. Now, if they're a little bit older, so say they're around 18 months in business, 20 months in business, then we can review them for more. And I've often seen them get around $75,000, even $90,000 for some stronger businesses that are being started. One thing too that I always like to point out and say is with our new business program, we do that the same as we do all our programs. So our analysts are going to look at the review your transaction and look at it where we do our standard program where there's 2 advance payments and then the full financed amount. Now, if there is some needed, like there's something that they see or something that they want to add more in there to get it to where we're more comfortable with it, they may add a down payment on there. But our first go-to is always to approve with only 2 advance payments for that. Our click to fund process a little bit earlier and everything is, this is kind of the processing layout of what it looks like. So we take our submissions for deals either through email or through our portal. So you can do either one. I just want to let people know, like the portal is the fastest because it's when it's on your time and when you're ready. So as soon as you submit through the portal, it's exactly into our system, and then we can start getting it in the queue for our team to process it. If you do it through email, it's just someone on our team when we get a chance to jump on and maybe put that in for you. You'll still get a notification either way. So once that deal is in for review and into the queue for review by the team, you should get an email saying that we've gotten your submission. If you ever submitted a deal with us and you never got that, that would mean that we don't have it either. So always a good thing just to double check when you're submitting. You should always know that we've gotten it. Our response time with submissions currently is about 2 hours or less. And so that gives, a quick time to know, hey, if this deal is viable or not with American Capital Group. And if it's not viable with us, if it's not something that we're going to be able to move forward with, our team will let you know why. So we'll let you know kind of what we saw, what doesn't fit for us, so that then as you're learning kind of who we are and what we take, you learn a bit more about why that deal didn't fit with American Capital Group. But also it lets you know kind of what you can do with that deal. Does that mean that you're going to it's dead now and you're going to let the customer know, like, unfortunately, there's not any option? Or is there somebody else maybe in your funding network that might take a deal like that? So we hope that kind of gives you some information to kind of help you on your way and working with that transaction. After you've gotten all that, then once we're getting to doc requests, once we've cleared all the things through our credit team and the pre-doc conditions, then you will put your doc request through us. So we will put the docs together for you, and our team will do that. So you'll just submit your doc request in through our portal. Our team will put that together. We then send you a PDF copy of what the docs look like so you can review them. And then once you give us the green light, we'll send those docs via DocuSign to your customer. So makes it pretty seamless there so that you can get the docs in, we can get them sent out for you, but you do have that control of as to when that goes out, so that you're prepared with that in case the customer has any questions, and also you have that copy so you can answer that. And then once the deal goes to funding, our team will keep you updated as to the process of where things are at. And then once it funds, we pay brokers at the same time that we pay the vendor. So once the wire goes out for the vendor, then we also will release the broker payments as well. Bill, I see your question here for age restrictions on equipment. We do have age restrictions. Generally, they're around 20 years, but we do kind of, sometimes I see some older than that. It really depends upon what the equipment is and like where the condition report comes back. So generally about 20, 25 years is what I see generally as our kind of max. But I did see like a 1989 the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised that went through. So always recommend that if there is an asset that's on the older end that we're unsure of, always send that into our team first. We can take a look at it and let you know kind of if it would work or not. And then we don't do any seasonal payments. We just do strictly monthly payments across the board. Now, as we mentioned, we've mentioned the broker portal here. So American Capital Group, we built our own portal. So our in-house tech team built the portal and customized it to make it super simple and straightforward so that it works for us. And since we've been in the industry for a while, we kind of know what makes it easier for you as well. So there's a simple submission page. There's ways to track the details, upload documents. And there's also one of the features that our current broker partners really like is our payment calculator. So once you get your approval in, you can go in there and just put it in the payment calculator and it will do all the T-val calculations on the leases, and it just kind of takes care of all that, and you can play around with that payment. And as you kind of get more familiar with how our team approves deals, even have brokers who go in there early before when they're just pricing out a deal to see how the customer might be feeling, and they go in there and use it beforehand to price out their deal to get that. So, and then we also have in there a little chat box. So in case you're on the portal or you have some questions, you can put a little chat in there, and myself or someone on the team will respond to you via the chat and help answer your question. So if you're not currently signed up with us and you're looking for a funding partner and you think maybe this might be a good opportunity here for what we have, this is how you get to be a part of our program. So we have an application which is online, and that gets filled out, basic background check. We kind of review our brokers the same way we review any kind of client. Would we want to finance with you? So we go through that kind of review. We do request a reference or two from the industry. We do work with newer brokers as well, so not everyone always has another lender in the equipment finance space that as a reference. So generally, we just look for industry references. So someone within the financing industry that we can reach out to just to kind of get an idea of kind of your background and what kind of deal submittals you've kind of done. So if you've been in the mortgage industry, another bank, just understanding how put your packages together and how those things, how your relationships have worked. And then once we've reviewed and you've been approved to be a part of our team, then we send you our broker agreement for signature. And then once that's signed, you are ready to submit deals with us. We do have of course, a broker guide. And if that's something that, if you've kind of listened today and it's something that you think, hey, maybe there's something that ACG has that could work for you and fill a need that you have in your funding relationships currently, be happy to send that to you. Right here is the email address you can email to and request that broker guide. We'll be happy to send that to you. We also have our dedicated website there at tpo.acgcapital.com that gives a little bit more information on us as well. And so that's there. I will say that we, like again, I said earlier, there's been a lot of changes in the industry and a lot of things that happened over the last couple of years. And we've been able to, because of our way that we are structured and built, we're able to kind of stay the same and kind of keep the course as to where we are. And so the stability of that programming has been very valuable for our broker partners, so that they know that, you know, we've been staying the same for the last several years. So be happy to, if there's any other questions, answer those, or if you want to, you know, reach out to me. Otherwise, you can send me an email or give me a call.
Great, thank you. Just a reminder, if you do have a question, now is the time. Put it in the Q&A box and we'll get that answered for you. We'll give it just a minute. And I don't see anything. So obviously, if you have any questions later, you can give Stephanie a call or send her an email and she'll get those answered for you. At this time, we'll wrap things up. I want to say a big thanks to all our participants, especially our valued funding source member and gold sponsor, American Capital Group. Thanks for a great job, Stephanie. And we invite everyone to meet with American Capital Group in person at the Commercial Financing Expo coming up this September in New Orleans. Thanks again and have a great day.
Thank you all.